Hi everybody, happy holidays. Time for Thanksgiving turkeys, stuffing, Christmas trees, and all the snowflakes and all that crap. But we all know the truth. It's all about those Christmas gifts, especially the gifts you get yourself or your loved ones or whatever, but most importantly yourself. The GoPro Hero 7 is definitely gonna be at the top of a lot of people's wish list, and rightfully so. This thing is awesome. Right now we're recording on the GoPro Hero 7. They did a really fantastic job with this camera. You get super good stabilization so I can jump around. But before you rush out there and hit that buy now button, there's another camera you might want to take a look at, which is the Insta360 One X. Now this itself is not a camera for everybody, but it is incredibly impressive that this camera is now the same exact price as the GoPro Hero 7, and the things you can do with this camera is insane. What the hell is this? What is even going on? I'm so confused right now. No, I'm just kidding. 360 cameras used to be either way too expensive or really cheap and crappy, but this has really good stabilization and high resolution and good functionality, ease of use, and all of that. So it's finally a contender of a GoPro Hero 7. So let's compare these two real quick. So the good people over at Insta360 have agreed to give away 2 of these to you guys. So stick around and Santa might come by your pad and be like, yo dog, here's a 360 camera for free. And then he'll just take a big puff of his blunt and just take off. That's just how I generally imagine Santa Claus to be. I wouldn't know for sure though. I've never met him in person. It's also possible he's like a very bitter old man, just like, people only like me because I give them free stuff. People are so selfish. I'll show those entitled kids by giving them a fidget spinner, which was on their Christmas list 3 years ago. Even though I do work with this company, I told them I will still talk smack about your product. I'm a master trash talker, and I also really love my GoPro. And they were like, yeah, that's exactly what we want, a brutally honest review. So bring it on, bitch. We're really comparing 2 completely separate animals here. The only thing they have in common really is the price, and they're both action cameras. Now, I would say GoPro is the way to go if what you're looking for is simplicity. It's as easy as it gets. I got mine programmed in, so all I have to do is press one button. It turns on and starts recording automatically, and then I just point it at whatever the hell I want to record. I could record myself. If I was gonna give one of these cameras to my mom, I would probably give her this one because anyone can use it. It's very straightforward. The Insta360 on the other hand, all right, so see how it has 2 cameras? It has one lens on that side and another lens on the other. Once you hit record, everything on this side, and even the sides are stitched together to make one big global image. You could put it anywhere. You don't have to point it at anything. If you've never filmed on a 360 camera before, this is gonna be a very unique experience to you. People are always like, how the hell did you get this shot? Like, what is going on? So much confusion. I love it. You know, it's filming everything. It's filming you. It's filming what you're seeing. So filming on this thing is actually a little bit easier than filming on this, because this, you still have to be conscious of where you're filming. We've all had that time where we mount it and we're like, okay, we think we have a pretty good angle. And you look back at the footage and you're like, man, that's not really the angle I wanted. But with this, you just mount it, hit that record button. You're not gonna ever miss your shot, which is awesome. But you're gonna have to do all your framing and stuff afterwards. So that's where it becomes a little bit of a hassle. You can distribute it out as a full 360 shot, so people watching can actually do this with their phone and look around and get that full scope, or you can just extract a traditional shot out of it. So let's look at one of these shots that we just imported. You can change your aspect ratio depending on where you're uploading it to. I want to upload this in 16:9 for YouTube. There's a couple of different ways to frame your shot, but I think the simplest and my favorite is probably viewfinder. So now see how as I move this camera, it's almost like I'm actually there using my camera. Let's say we want to start here. I'm going to hit that record button and we're moving. So as I move my camera, I could frame, and I think don't scare those girls there, but I can literally go and reframe however I want. So see that, and I could also zoom out. I could zoom all the way out like that, which is crazy, and I could zoom in to myself. I can zoom to Dylan. So all that motion I just did while I was like going crazy like this was being recorded, so now I can hit play and basically it's gonna show me exactly what I was doing with that camera. So it's cool in the sense where when you're filming, you don't have to really think about what you're pointing it at, and then afterwards you come back and then you compose your shot and figure out what kind of footage you want out of it. If you think about how crazy this technology is, it's actually pretty impressive how simple this app is to use. Oh my god, guys, I just went back and reviewed some of the footage, and how come none of you guys told me that my nipples were so perky? They're just very, very visible. I think it's because it's a white shirt and all my lighting's coming in down this way, so note to self, do not wear that shirt. Now, we all know that the Hero 7 stabilization is pretty insane, and I'm incredibly impressed at this. You can handhold this thing and do like a light jog with this thing, and it looks very, very smooth. It's really impressive. But obviously, if you start doing like a full-on sprint or jumping or whatever, you're gonna start doing this. But the Insta360 is always capturing everything, so it has unlimited room to do a digital stabilization. So if you're doing like a super fast run or jumping or whatever, this is gonna have much better image stabilization simply because it has all that room to digitally stabilize it. Now, talking about quality and resolution for a second, the GoPro is 4K and this is 5.7K. That doesn't necessarily mean this is sharper. When you're shooting 4K on the GoPro, you're getting all 4K resolution in that rectangle, but on this thing it's getting 5.7K, which includes everything. But if you're gonna punch in and frame into a certain part of the shot, then you're getting much less resolution of that because you're only using a fraction of that 5.7K. So even though this gives you more flexibility, if you're just trying to get a very standard shot, like maybe like a vlog angle or whatever, this is gonna give you a higher resolution at whatever it's pointing at. And another thing is the GoPro is definitely wide, but even when you put this in super view, the widest setting, this is still gonna be wider and you can infinitely zoom out. So let's say you're filming something like sports or snowboarding or paragliding, then you don't really have to even punch this out very far to film your entire body. Like, here's a shot I filmed with the Insta360 and everyone was like, wait, how did you mount the camera out so far? I literally just took it and mounted it like about a foot or two away from my hand. So I was holding it while I was holding the clutch, and it looks like this kind of impossible shot that's really, really cool because you can literally get that wide. Like, you're not limited to that angle of view. You can go all the way until everything just looks like one little tiny planet. I've been snowboarding before where I try to film myself doing these lame little tricks. It's incredibly hard to film yourself while you're trying to do a sport because your mind's fully focused on what you're doing. Another benefit of framing later is some of the accessories you can use with it. This is one of the popular ones. It's called bullet time. So you mount the camera at the end of it, you extend it out, and you just spin it around like that. You can set this camera to 100 frames per second. It wraps around your head and gives you kind of this matrix effect that's like really cool. So I do have this one accessory where you can mount the GoPro to like the end of the string and then you swing it around and you can get something similar. This goes up to 240 frames per second, so it does get more slow motion capabilities. This thing was difficult to use. You usually see the string in the shot and you need a lot of space to swing it around. Now I'm looking at Insta360's website and they have this new thing called a drifter, which looks like a Nerf ball, and you stick this inside of it and you throw it and then you compose your shot later. I mean, look at some of these shots on here. What? This is awesome. Insta360, I thought we were buddies. How come you haven't sent me one of these yet? Another beauty of filming 360 video is, let's say there's a few of you sitting around a table. You slap this in the middle and then you can later extract a camera angle from each person at the table. So essentially you're running like multiple camera angles from this one camera. And a few weeks ago, I made a video about making this into a vlog camera, which is very possible to do. You can accessorize it and get a microphone on here. This, on the other hand, I wouldn't necessarily use for vlogging. Your workflow is going to be much faster if you just hit record and then you have that clip already. This is more flexible, but again, it's going to take a little bit more time. So if you're trying to pump out a ton of content, then this might not be the camera for you. But let's say you're trying to get a whole bunch of Instagram clips or trying to get a couple unique shots to incorporate into your vlog. You're much more likely to blow people's minds with this camera and kind of the unique shots you can get out of this. Now, one feature that they recently added into this One X is this time warp feature, which is pretty neat. It's just like a time lapse, but they add in this motion blur to make it look more organic. Like here, watch this. I mean, come on, that's pretty cool, right? The GoPro also has a time-lapse feature, but it doesn't give it that motion blur effect. And this whole effect I'm doing just from the phone app, so pretty cool. All right, and the giveaway details. Insta360 is giving away 2 of these units to you guys. So for a chance to win, just follow both of us on Instagram and then leave a comment down below on what you want to film with this camera. Maybe you want to do something with this crazy time warp feature or little tiny planet or whatever the hell you want to do. We're still about 30 seconds away from crossing over that 10-minute mark. So let's read some comments. And right now I'm filming with the Insta360 and I got this little crotch camera down here. I'm just really using this for the audio because it's so windy up here. So I'm using this because this has all like the fluffy goodness that covers up all that sound noise. All right, my last video was about the Blackmagic pocket camera and how it basically stopped working 5 minutes after using it. And yeah, let's see what you guys had to say about that. Wow, no review and still managed to make an 11-minute video. I'm impressed. I'm an expert at dragging out videos and I should be crossing over just about now. Philippe says this has been a nice bunch of annoying filler. How could you possibly think I'm annoying? Oh, okay, I think I get it. Please don't groan like that. People think I'm watching game porn because the volume was high. You look like a rabbit who's about to demolish the entire world's supply of pizza. I guess the Blackmagic wasn't up to quality standards. Not funny. Brendan says, why does Red get the pass when their $40,000 professional cameras fail horribly, but Blackmagic gets crucified when their $1,000 camera fails? I've seen Reds fail more frequently than Blackmagic and barely anyone ever talks about that. I don't get it. Well, just to clarify, I talk about Reds failing all the time. I actually made an entire video complaining about how professional cameras shouldn't fail, and Reds do that all the time. So for me, it really doesn't matter what kind of camera it is. If it claims to be professional and then it stops working on me for no apparent reason, then you could expect me to bitch about it for an entire video. That video is probably going to be about 10.5 minutes long. And same with if I accidentally break a camera. I mean, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but come on, those views though. By the way, Blackmagic did repair it and they're shipping it back to me all within a week, so I'm pretty impressed with their customer service. Ivan says, why is this guy so annoying? You know what, Ivan? I'm sick of your negative attitude. I think your mustache is annoying. My mustache is way more legit. You know, you can see it. Talking trash about me too can play that game. I'm gonna stalk your YouTube channel. Oh my god, that is not at all what I was expecting you to be like. Your voice is epic. Holy crap. I came here to talk trash, but I'm gonna like this video. And wow, that is an epic voice. I got nothing. Ooh, forgot a few things. Quick congrats to these two guys for winning a fresh new set of glass. And also Insta360 gave me a partner link. So if you use my link in the description to buy one of these, then you get a free selfie stick. And look how telescoping it is. Whoa! And it compacts nicely so you can pack it away. You can film yourself and it's cool. Free using my link down below. All right, I'm out for real this time. See you guys later.